So going back to what you mentioned before, do you think the utility companies might be less likely to implement a notification system because it could affect their profits?
Yeah, I've looked at this and I think there's evidence of it because as people move off the grid or to other alternative forms of energy, like solar, for example, then what happens is the energy companies have a fixed cost in their infrastructure, and that fixed cost has to be managed or covered. So when we see areas where there's a dramatic reduction in demand due to alternative energy sources, giving the example of solar power, where a homeowner may have solar panels installed that they can use and store, and so they're either limiting their use of the utilities energy that they would purchase, or in some cases there are some mandates that the utility company must purchase the energy back from them. And so I think there's actually evidence of this in California where the utility companies want to charge some fixed minimum fee just to be on the grid, even though you may not use any of the electricity, or to try to purchase your energy at wholesale prices as opposed to at rates that they would charge you for the same energy. So I think they're very concerned that they could be in a position where if there's a mass movement to conservation, then they built all this capacity. They would have excess capacity with fixed costs they couldn't cover. So there could be, instead of energy costs going down, energy costs could actually go up even more as the remaining consumers have to cover that cost. In other words, they have to charge more money to people who remain, even though they're using less energy, have to charge you more for it. So that could be a spiral.
Yeah, that's a really great point, actually. So maybe determining what can motivate utility companies to actually implement a system like this, could be a major step in making it happen. Sounds like that would be pretty important.
There's another decision. So, for example, in our area, there's the Jacksonville Electric Authority, this as an example, the Duval County area. And one of the things, now that you have both water and electric, one of the things they do is they take profits that they generate and they also contribute that to the city government. So the government, the county government, city government, is incented because they benefit through the profits of the utility. So again, there are these demotivators where, I want you to conserve, but not too much. Because if I had a real, almost like a black swan type moment where there was a paradigm shift and enough people shifted over, then they would be left with a lot of capacity that they could use. And the cities and counties might also be disincented because they would lose contributions to their coffers that they depend on. And so these are, I think, are competing tensions.
Yeah, that sounds like a big contributing factor. That's interesting. I wasn't aware of that, actually.
Yeah, and I'll give you a little information, and I'll kind of say that I will, but not really. So if you have a tiered billing system that charges you more, then, the idea is that you would be, using that example, the idea is that I charge you more because I don't want you to use more, but in effect, I'm charging you multiples. So I'm actually making what I provide to you, the services I provide to you, much more lucrative or profitable. So, yeah, maybe I charge you more, but I'm very happy that you pay high bills because I generate a lot of money, and the cities and counties also generate. They benefit from the excess profits of the utility companies. So these are some of the competing things where, even though it should be desirable, we should drive those behaviors, may not be incentives. So it could be that they thought about this, that the way that this shift will happen is that innovation will have to happen at the home with the consumer. It will have to jump past the utility and develop their own usage, home usage. So, and that could, that competition could incent the utility to actually do it. The other is to enforce it through regulation. So, if the conservation movement were strong enough, then they could try to pass laws to force the utilities and the governments to actually comply with higher standards, and part of those standards could be notification or providing feedback to the users. So it's either competition or, it could be a regulatory impact, regulatory persuasion, I should say, might be one mechanism to do it.
Interesting. Okay, those are really great points. I appreciate you making those. All right. Well, is there anything else that you would add, or any recommendations? There are thoughts that might contribute any more to the concept?
No, I think it's a really good idea. The technology's in place. It could absolutely be done. It could be done both for the utility company who could provide the feedback mechanism. If you think about it, they already wirelessly read. Most of the technologies now that there isn't actually a manual read of your device. So it's all managed remotely. So you have remote readings of water and remote readings of electricity, which means they have instantaneous data. And there's no reason why that data can't be fed, or certain thresholds can be built, and they could send out digital alerts or messages. So everything is in place to do it. The question is, why do they not do it?
Right.